himself being hunted by a great white shark, and he caught it all on camera. Check it.
A 9-foot great white vanished without a splash. Months later, its tracking tag whispered a horror story from the abyss. 78 degrees Fahrenheit, far warmer than open water, flashed across the tag before a plunge nearly 2,000 feet. Something had swallowed the apex predator whole. Scientists scrambled for answers while headlines screamed of krakens and killer whales. But the chilling evidence pointed toward a far more familiar monster. What could devour the ocean's top hunter, and why? The truth would upend everything we thought we knew. It all began as routine marine research off Western Australia. Researchers attached temperature-depth loggers to juvenile great whites to map their annual migrations. The program had catalogued dozens of uneventful journeys. Shark Alpha, a streamlined 9-footer, glided southward along the continental shelf like countless others. Its transmitter pinged health metrics every minute. Nothing unusual. Then, one calm December morning, the tag reported its last surface position near Bremer Canyon. Within hours, data would turn the study upside down. The next data burst would leave scientists staring in disbelief. Then, the numbers went insane. A routine 46 degrees Fahrenheit readout spiked to a sauna-like 78 degrees Fahrenheit in seconds, far too warm for open water. That single flash told scientists the tag, and the shark, were now inside a warm-blooded predator. Within moments, the transmitter plunged nearly 1,900 feet straight into the twilight zone of the ocean. The dive profile mirrored a fast-moving super predator, not a drifting tag or scavenger. For days, the device kept traveling before being expelled and floating to the surface, silent proof of a grisly meal. But this hard data only fueled wilder speculation. Exactly what kind of monster could leave such a signature? Rumour swept the coastline faster than the tide. Within days, imaginations leapt to sea monsters and prehistoric relics. Some swore a kraken-sized beast or lost Megalodon had swallowed the shark whole. Others pointed to living giants, a rogue 20-foot great white, or a killer whale ambush. Either one, powerful enough to erase a 9-footer in seconds. Headlines fed the frenzy. Documentaries like The Hunt for the Super Predator turned the mystery into prime time, and public fascination exploded. But when scientists stacked those campfire tales against the tag's hard numbers, most cracked under scrutiny, leaving one chilling possibility still standing. Next, the evidence that narrows the suspect list to a single super predator. The tag's dive profile wasn't a riddle after all. When biologists compared its frantic plunge and slow ascents to thousands of archival tracks, the curves lined up exactly with a supersized great white, not with squid, orcas, or any other suspect. Crunching the numbers put the attacker at a formidable 16 to 20 feet long, double the victim's size, and easily heavy enough to swallow a 9-footer in one rush strike. And while the idea sounds monstrous, shark-on-shark cannibalism is no myth. From womb battles in sand tiger embryos to territorial ambushes among adults, larger whites have been documented turning smaller kin into high-fat meals when opportunity strikes. With the tags, temperature, depth, and movement all pointing toward a colossal great white, scientists began to see the super predator not as a sea monster, but as the ocean's ultimate expression of survival of the fittest. Cannibalism isn't some deep-sea myth. It's baked into shark biology from the very beginning. In many species, sand tigers most famously, the first embryo to hatch literally consumes its siblings in the womb, and size-based predation sometimes continues throughout adulthood. Field observations prove the point. Researchers off South Africa once watched a large great white bite a smaller rival clean in half, while territorial clashes around Mexico's Guadalupe Island have left adult sharks fatally wounded during mating season. Why risk attacking your own kind? Marine biologists list 3 drivers: sheer hunger, because a smaller shark is a ready-made, high-fat meal; competition for limited food sources; and dominance over prime hunting or breeding grounds. The 9-footer, tagged in 2003, offered all 3 incentives to any local giant looking to enforce its rule. Crunching the recovered tag data suggests that Enforcer measured at least 16 to 20 feet and weighed upward of 2 tons. Dimensions easily capable of swallowing a 9-foot animal without a struggle. Viewed through this lens, the super predator isn't an unknown monster at all. It's simply a bigger, bolder great white enforcing the ocean's oldest law: eat or be eaten.
At first glance, blaming a killer whale felt logical. Few predators can overpower a great white. But the tag's hard numbers quickly tore that narrative apart. Temperature tells on the culprit. The device warmed to just 78 degrees Fahrenheit. Orcas run much hotter internally, about 97 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, so their gut would have pushed the tag far higher than what was recorded. The dive profile misfires too. Moments after the spike, the tag plummeted 1,900 feet in a rapid, continuous drop. Orcas can dive deep, but rarely with such speed or frequency. Their foraging typically stays far shallower. Behavior at the surface doesn't match. When killer whales attack sharks, they work in groups, flip the victim upside down, and induce tonic immobility before making surgical bites. Not a single stealth swallow. No surgical leftovers were found. Orcas usually strip out the liver and leave the carcass to drift, yet investigators recovered no liverless remains, just an excreted tag. Hunting style is a mismatch. The data tracked a lone predator, but orcas are coordinated pack hunters. A solo killer whale devouring an entire 9-foot shark would be unprecedented. Ripple effect clue: orca events trigger mass shark evacuations for months, yet neighbouring great whites never left the area after this incident. Another strike against the killer whale theory. Stacked together, these inconsistencies sink the orca hypothesis, leaving one far more unsettling suspect still circling: a cannibal, supersized great white. Sharks feel the power shift, and many simply vanish. Marine biologists now suspect an unseen pecking order rules open ocean territories. The largest, most aggressive whites dominate a region, forcing mid-sized sharks to relocate or risk becoming dinner. Tagging data after the 2003 incident showed repeated temperature spikes, sudden drops and lost signals, clues that similar ambushes keep happening far from prying eyes. Fresh evidence arrived in September 2024. A pregnant 8-foot porbeagle shark tracked near Bermuda abruptly dove, its tag heating to 77 degrees Fahrenheit, then broadcasting from inside a predator believed to be a much larger great white. Researchers called it the first documented porbeagle-on-porbeagle cannibal case, underscoring how apex sharks hunt one another when opportunities arise. These recurring disappearances hint at a hidden deep-sea hierarchy where only the biggest hunters reign and smaller sharks abandon feeding grounds rather than challenge a superpredator. If giants keep rewriting the rules of the food chain, what other secrets still lurk beneath the thermocline? A vanished 9-footer, a scorching tag, and a death plunge into darkness. Every clue converged on one brutal truth. The hunter was hunted by an even larger great white. Far from myth, cannibal super-predators silently police their realm, reshuffling the food chain in ways we're only starting to grasp. So the next time you picture an apex predator, remember, there's always a bigger shadow in the blue. What other giants roam untagged beneath those waves, waiting to rewrite the rules again? Smash that like button, hit subscribe and dive back in with us for the next deep sea mystery.